It's no secret that Elon Musk bought Twitter. I think that this is something that everyone's known about for quite some time now. But what I do think is really important to cover, especially on this channel, which we talk about creators and how to benefit from being a content creator, this is an interesting move for content creators, and it could be good, it could be bad. I'd love to go through everything that Elon's doing to Twitter and figure out whether this is actually going to be beneficial for us content creators or not. So let's get started here. First of all, one thing I wanted to mention is that there is a bit of transparency coming from Twitter that we've not really seen from social media networks in the past. Let me specify. Elon has been basically live tweeting everything he wants to do, such as Twitter will soon add ability to attach long-form text to tweets, ending absurdity of notepad screenshots. That's something. Followed by creator monetization for all forms of content. That's huge. What I didn't understand, this one kind of blew my mind, someone somewhere in these replies asking about content, creator monetization and content monetization, all that stuff, he didn't know how YouTube worked, and I'm kind of surprised by that. I feel like everyone knows that it's an ad-based model, you know what I mean? So, I don't know, I just think it's really cool that he's sharing changes to his platform, and he's being transparent in what he wants to do. People can give him feedback, and ultimately, if there's a lot of bad feedback, I don't think he'll end up going through with it. Now, there is a downside, of course. There was a lot of layoffs, but I think that it's a bit of a weird perspective because this seems to have been a problem that's been going on for quite some time. Jack Dorsey tweeted, "Folks at Twitter, past and present, are strong and resilient. They will always find a way, no matter how difficult the moment." Well, I don't know why I read that, so weird. "I realize many are angry with me. I own the responsibility for why everyone is in this situation. I grew the company size too quickly, and I apologize for that." So this is going back, I mean, how long has Jack been away as a CEO? I think a while. There was, I'm going to say his name wrong, but Parag Agrawal. He was in charge for probably about a year or year and a half. And so obviously this goes back quite a ways. They've been losing money for quite some time. I think the number was $4 million a day they were losing, which is quite a substantial amount of money. I'm Canadian, so this is a little bit localized, but yeah, they closed a bunch of offices and cut workers access to internal systems on Friday. It was pretty random. A lot of people just couldn't log in the morning, and they got the email several hours later, which is pretty unfortunate. Yeah, I think everyone's quite aware of that. I'd love to get into the X app, but first I wanted to talk about how just as of today, apparently they're trying to rehire some of the workers that Elon fired. I think that kind of speaks to how quickly Elon is moving right now. And one of the reasons I think this is a bad thing is that, yes, you're hemorrhaging money, but if you make too many rash decisions in a row, it can actually end up hurting you a lot more in the long run. If you're not aware of where the employees are going and what's going on, it can harm you because you need to know exactly what's causing you to lose money. And if you're making a decision within a week of owning the company that's this big, getting rid of 50% of the staff, I think that's a little bit dangerous. This, I will say, it's not been confirmed that people are being rehired, but all we can really base it off of is Twitter employees' accounts, obviously with some vetting based on what happened last weekend when there was the whole Ligma incident, which I won't say for YouTube purposes, but apparently he's trying to hire back dozens of employees. Dozens is small compared to 50% of the company, but I sense that there was just maybe some issues with the total email situation. Regardless, what I think is interesting is that there is a lot of talk about all the features he wants to add, right? Such as paying $8 for Twitter Blue, which gets you the blue check mark. I think that for creators, this is an awful thing, and I'll tell you why. Everyone being monetized or everyone being verified means that no one is verified. So if you have creators who are more prone to scams like MrBeast, there could be a million different replicas, and it'll be so impossible to distinguish who is who. Now, do I think that $8 is paying for that is a bad thing? No, I definitely agree that that's not the worst thing in the world. But what I do think is a problem is the verification stands for something. It stands for authenticity. The person is who they say they are. They've been vetted, all of that. I think that if they're able to get verified, then yes, absolutely they should be paying a fee because there's different ways you can make money from a platform. I mean, YouTube has YouTube Premium. Twitter has Twitter Blue, and up until now, there really hasn't been much of a benefit for it. Elon's adding a lot of benefits, and I do think that paying for verification it's not unheard of. There's tons of Instagram accounts that are verified because they paid tens of thousands of dollars to get in contact with someone who worked at Instagram to get verified. So this is nothing new. It's just more direct and a little bit safer. However, I do think that everyone being verified means no one's verified, and it'll increase scams and spam stuff a lot more. Regardless, some of these other features, such as the X app, I think are kind of cool. I think it's very good to see this happening because this is a massive move for creators, and also I think it could potentially be dangerous, but I want to walk you through what this is. So basically, Elon Musk has the goal of creating X, the everything app. The best comparison is to WeChat in China, where you can do food delivery, grocery shopping, order an Uber-like vehicle system, whatever that's called, and you can do social media, you can do one-on-one chats, stories, all of that stuff in WeChat. It's literally the everything app, and that's what Elon wants to make Twitter into. I see two major issues with that right off the hop. Is that number one, Twitter is known for being kind of short and like simple. It's not too complicated. You go on there, you read some tweets, you tweet maybe. It's a low effort social media platform. When you start adding all of these things to it, think about Instagram, which has shop, it has stories, it has reels, it has everything on it. It gets clunky. Instagram, I think right now, is trying to do that without being as loud about it. They're trying to be the everything app, and it's destroying them very quickly. And I think that Elon doing this, it's going to lose the appeal of Twitter. The appeal of Twitter is that it's a short form, easy to use platform. And I think if you start adding in a bunch of features that people didn't want, it starts to get a little bit more complicated. But I do think it's interesting to see innovation in social media, and at least being transparent and sharing these ideas is really good. Now, I don't know that this is going to be happening anytime soon. You can't just change an app in the next week, but there is talk of the $8 verification coming tomorrow. So it seems like maybe he does want to start moving a lot quicker. He is known to be a very passionate boss, passionate CEO. He pushes his employees really hard. I think that we all know that. We've all heard that. But it's not surprising to me to see him moving this quickly, but I do think that it could be bad when you make drastic changes and create this app called X, and you don't think about it. You don't make decisions very slowly and correctly, which he doesn't seem to be wanting to do right now. I understand making money is important, but even laying off all those employees, you'd think that they'd be able to make enough money to kind of chill out for a little bit, but regardless, I think X would be interesting, and I think it would be problematic for creators. The reason I think it would be problematic for creators is now you're not verified, right? Everyone's verified, so you're not verified. Basically, the philosophy behind it. You're paying for Twitter Blue, which gets you certain features, but how much are you really making from the platform? YouTube's been around for a long time. Advertisers are confident spending money, and a subscription-only based model, I don't see how that could make enough to pay creators enough to just be Twitter exclusive. People already have Twitter followings, and those creators on Twitter getting the ability to monetize their content is great, but I don't think that there will be any time in the next 5 years where YouTube will have less of an appeal to video-based creators for ad dollars than Twitter would. And unless that happens, people aren't going to stop making YouTube videos and switch over to Twitter. So I do think there's going to be a major uphill battle for Elon and the Twitter team to be seen as a company that can be good for creators. Because right now, and for the longest time ever, it's always been a place that you just have a platform to guide people to somewhere else where you can make money. Maybe you get a sponsorship on Twitter, but they don't pay nearly as well as YouTube or Instagram would. So I think Elon's making a lot of changes. I do think that there is good changes being made, transparency being one of them, being open to criticism. He's not making fun of people for having differing opinions. He's trying to get in their perspectives. I mean, last weekend, Mr. Beast tweeted that he shouldn't bring back Vine because TikTok's already better, and Elon started asking him why. Getting opinions from users, whether they're creators or not, is a massive step on social media that we've never seen before. But I do think that ultimately Elon has a lot of choices to make, and I do see that as being a little bit tricky because of how involved he already is in all of his companies, and now Twitter is going to be very, very hands-on for him for the next while as he can guide it in that direction. So I'd say, personally for me, I'm not holding a lot of stock in these changes. I want to see how it goes. I'm not going to stop using Twitter. Twitter is cool. I like Twitter for what it is now, but I do want to see where it goes, and then from there, I think it'll change a lot of things over time. Nothing's going to happen overnight, but I am curious to see what's going to happen. Anyways, let me know what you think about Twitter and Elon buying Twitter down below in the comments, and I'll see you guys very soon. Be sure to like this video, subscribe down below, and subscribe to my main channel, and I'll see you guys next week, next day. I don't know. Soon. Peace.